This is Bullsai's first attempt at touchpad training. The pads have just been placed on the floor, so they're new to him. So every time the yellow disc will catch his eye, curiosity will get the better of him and hopefully he'll touch it. He's already done marker training, and marker training is basically teaching Bullsai that a specific sound, word or signal indicates that what he's doing is right and he's going to get a reward. So every time Bullsai does something and he hears the word good, he knows that's what I want him to do and he gets his reward. At the moment, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Bullsai to associate the hands with food don't open unless he touches the disc. Now, in the past, Bullsai's got food for just sitting down for us, so he's trying that now. What happens if I sit? Absolutely nothing. So his little brain's ticking away. He's just got to the point where he realised no treat coming, so he gets up, gives the hand a little nudge just to make sure. He starts to have a sniff around. Now if you notice, he's going to spot the disc. Touches the disc, gets a good. He's touching the disc not because he's associating it with rewards, he's touching the disc because he just keeps catching his eye. Every time it catches his eye, his curiosity kicks in, he touches it to see what it is, has a smell of it basically. He's trying another sit. Now watch what he does this time when he realises the sit's not working. Instead of getting up and giving in, he tries the next thing, which is a down. Now he doesn't get a reward, but not only does he not get a reward, by lying down he's taken the disc out of his field of view, so he's less likely to notice it. So all I do is I move away from the disc, try and readjust him without asking him or telling him, just basically manipulating him around by getting him to follow me until he's in a position that the disc is back within his field of view. By doing this, when he gets bored of nudging my hand around, he's more likely to spot the disc on the floor. If he spots it, he's more likely to go and have a smell of it. That's the point I can then give him his reward again. So all the time we're trying to set him up in a position that makes it easier for him to succeed, without asking or telling him. We want Bullsai to start getting into the habit of, when he wants something, working out how to get it, rather than waiting for a command and losing to get it. So there we got another touch. Again, purely by accident, he got bored with my hand, had a quick look around, spotted the disc really close to him, so he touched the disc out of curiosity. Again, now the disc's out of his field of view, but he's up and he's moving around, so there is a good chance that he may come across it. So at the moment I'm not going to move. While he's up and moving, there's every chance he may turn round. If you noticed, he turned round to actually scratch his side. He spotted the disc, went down, touched it, gave him a good, he gets a reward. Every single time he goes near that disc in the right manner, he gets a reward, irrelevant of why he did it. Now that time he actually actively backed up looking for it, so he's starting to understand that the disc's there and it gets me things. I'm not quite sure, I don't think he thinks it gets him things, but he knows the disc's there. It's part of his environment now and it keeps popping in his head every now and again. There's another sit. Is that going to get me something? No, I walk straight past and ignore him. Basically readjusted the disc, and then we gave him a quick 5-minute play around the classroom with his ball. Now we're back into the disc training. So we just had 2 consecutive touches. Watch him, he's now actively looking at the disc and then looking back at the hand. So he's progressing from just occasionally noticing the disc to going looking for it. Again, we took him away, we give him a bit of a play, and now we're back into it. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of distance between me and the disc and see if he actively goes and looks for it. He turned away, turned back, and off he goes. By putting a bit of distance in between it now, he's actually got to actively think about the disc, otherwise he's never going to notice it. You notice he turns away, goes away. That disc is now becoming an active part of his reward system, and he's starting to understand this. I think he's worked out that he can nearly pick it up. Getting a bit playful with it, still not a problem. He never gets stopped doing anything with that disc. If he makes contact, there is some form of reward, one way or another. We're not looking for perfect touch, we're just looking for some interaction with the disc and the reward. This is purely like clicker training. The word good just replaces the click. It's all marker training. Marker training is a great way of communicating with your dog. Basically, you agree or you disagree. If you disagree, there's no response from it. If you agree, there's either a click or, in my case, the word good. Once the dog gets this sort of concept of that pad means I get a reward, that's the point we can then put a command in, i.e. we can point to the disc and say the word touch, and he will go and actively go and get the disc. You can apply, once you've got the dog that you point in a direction or point at an item and say touch, you can apply that to all sorts of training. Retrieving, search and rescue, scent identification, all sorts of things. But the initial training is I need to be able to send him in a direction or to an item, and he knows that by cooperating there's a reward for it. Yes. And this is stage 1. If you notice, I don't move about a lot or say a lot. I'm a great believer in just let the dog work it out. Don't give it too much interaction or you distract from the job that you're trying to teach it. Now he's getting slower in his responses and a little bit less active with his reward taking, so we're going to call it a day, and that's job done for today.